Hey, Nicole.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. All right. So
So,
I have a confession to make. This is my first time going on IG Live, so hopefully
uh,
nothing weird happens.
oh, I appreciate it. I'm your first time. I love this. I love your background. Mine's a little bit.
Yours is a little bit more plain than mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have the flowers on my shirt, so I figured, reverse it.
Yes. So how's everyone doing out there? How are you doing? First and foremost, I know you've been
I
out there for a little bit longer than I have,
I
and
am doing the do, and I want to begin because this is something that I have said when I was on stage with Julie. It's something that I've said on social media. It's something that I've said to you privately. So before we start anything, I want to say that I apologize to you as a person um, for Nicole having a difficult time in that game and questioning you. And I want to commend you on the way you handled yourself your week and on your speech and just everything that is the amazing caser that you are.
I do certainly appreciate that. Look, first and foremost, I think you already apologized to me in the
Mm-hmm.
house. So I'm going to say the same thing I said to you back then, which was,
Mm-hmm.
I understand like more so than anybody how hard it is to come back one season later. I was on season
Mm-hmm.
six and then season seven. It's
Yeah.
really difficult. So I get it. It's like it's really really difficult in there in that house. And so like I appreciate your apology. I understand that it's a hard
Mm-hmm.
game, and I don't take any of this personally. That's me.
Yes.
Obviously, everyone else kind of feels differently about it. They're
Mm-hmm.
entitled to, but for
Yep.
me, there's no hard feelings. I don't mind what happened.
Oh, I
It's
appreciate that so
it
much.
sucks, but you know what? It is what it is. It's I don't think you're a bad person.
And likewise, like I don't hold any ill will in any regard. Like I said, I struggled in that game. I know I struggled in that game. It's evident that I struggled in that game. And that's something I wanted to like talk to you about was when you returned your second season. Is that something like you anticipated happening? Like, was it? I feel like it was so much more difficult returning.
It's more difficult than I expected it to be.
Hmm.
I wasn't ready to come back, so but you have to make the most of it. The fans expect certain things, and we adore the fans. We love them,
Hmm.
and we
Yes,
want to do the best we can. And I think it is it's hard, right? And I think it's
it's
hard
very
to
hard.
understand sometimes. Look, I think you're a good person. When I saw you first playing on your season, I knew that you were a good person, and it actually made me sad to see how things unfolded for you in the house.
Hmm.
Um, you seemed like you were outside of your element, and so for those reasons, I asked you to take care of yourself. So, and I hope you managed to do so now.
Absolutely, that's something like I really like appreciate about you is the fact that in that house, like you saw it, and I'm not saying that's any excuse for anything in the house or that's any I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I appreciate that you saw it and you saw that I was having a difficult time and I was playing the game in a way I hadn't last season. I normally wouldn't, and I was struggling. And despite me questioning you and getting angry with you and getting upset with you and then apologizing to you, despite all of that, you never, and I never expected you to because you're such a tremendous person, but you never, on a personal level, held that against me. And you always saw it for what it was that I was having an extremely difficult time. And that's something like I didn't expect to happen. I went into the game like, oh, I was just here last season. Like, I'm used to this. It's not going to bother me. And then it did very much bother me. And I can't believe how much, I don't know, like my emotions took over. I had no clarity. I couldn't hear my gut. I couldn't hear my intuition. I was just very confused. And I
Yeah,
hated it.
I think it's important to realize that. Look, at the end of the day, it's easy to get confused in that house. It's easy to let your
Mm-hmm.
emotions run away with you, especially when you're having a hard time. And I think that's exactly what happened. I know people want to find a common enemy. I know they
Mm-hmm.
feel very passionate about the game, and I
Absolutely.
can't express how grateful I am for people to have this much love for myself and for Janelle
Mm-hmm.
and for the game. And I think I can't thank everybody enough. But it's also it's hard when these things happen, and like I think
Hmm.
you just kind of ended up on a side where you felt like we wronged you, and
Yep.
that was for, couldn't be furthest from the case.
Yep.
But you know that now, and
Hmm.
it's okay. These things happen, like, and you don't know, and so I think. Look, the reason why I wanted to talk to you is because I think there's a bigger lesson here, which is like we have to understand how to be able to move forward,
Hmm.
if we're going to be able to like make a better place for ourselves in this world. And
Absolutely.
so that's like I can't, I want to bury this, um,
Yep.
and I want you to know I do think you're an amazing person.
Thank you, Kaser. I mean, like, again, actions in the game aside, like I know some people question it because like, oh, you question them. How dare you? I do think the absolute world of you. I think the absolute world of Janelle. I am a Jacer fan. You know what I mean? So that is first and foremost. I as well don't want there to be any ill will between us or between just in the community. Like there's so much toxicity in this world and so much hatred in this world and so much anger in this world. And I get it. I'm very passionate about this game as well as a fan, and I watch and I get mad. But I think it's important to realize that, like you said, that house turns everything on its ear. It makes you question things, but it doesn't carry over. And just because you get mad at somebody in a game doesn't mean you hate them in real life or you're out to get them in real life. And that's something that I want the BB community to know that I absolutely love and adore and respect. And I was rooting for you guys after I left. Like my dream, finals is you and Janelle and Davon and Kevin and Bailey. Like so I don't want that big alliance to win, but it's tough when you're in the house and you're trying to save your own game. You start to question people, you start to go to other people for their votes, and I hope, like you said, we can all move forward, like me and you and me and Janelle and you, like just everybody as a community move forward with, okay, that was a game, and let's move forward as human beings who love each other.
All right, so people are asking, did you get a chance to talk to Janelle yet?
I have not. I know it's it's tough to adjust. I don't know what she's watched or listened to, and people take their own time, like processing things. I'm more than ready, willing, and able to talk to her. So if and when she's ready, I would love to chat. And if that's not now, if that's not ever, that's perfectly fine. She's entitled to her opinions and her feelings. But I would love to chat with her at any point.
Do you? So another person's asking, do you regret not uh, going into an alliance with Janelle and I?
I, the way I see it is we were an alliance. But that was the whole thing. Like that day in the bathroom, I was like, all right, I'm in a nice little alliance with Janelle Kaser and Memphis. This is great. And then when he nominated me, that's when I just snowballed. It started with that, and I just ran with it. That oh my gosh, they screwed me over. They did this on purpose. They're with Memphis, and that's what started the whole thing. So I think the moral of the story is we all blame Memphis. That's where it all stems from.
Yeah, Memphis ended up pulling a fast one on all of us. We got screwed.
Yeah. And kudos
Um,
to him because he shocked us all. So,
so okay, let's see what other questions.
I'm
Let's see.
afraid.
There's like random questions about my workout plan and what shampoo I use. Okay, what, let's see. Who else? Okay, so what would you have done differently? I think if you were to now that you know what you know going into the game, do you
Oh
feel like
man,
you would have? Are you happy? Let me ask you this: are you happy that you went home, given the fact that you were having such a hard time?
I am. I honestly think I think it was I'm a firm believer that we're all on this journey and we have to get off at different exits. So one person's going to make it all the way to the finish line, but everybody else has to get off at different exits. And I think this season I was meant to be hit with a brick wall, be hit with all these emotions about last season, about my time post BB21, about all these emotions I didn't process, everything I've ignored and what I think I was meant to hit all that and struggle so much and come out into a community that was not as welcoming as they were the first time around because I was meant to, I don't know, just like become stronger and become more of a vocal person that speaks out about things I'm upset about. And I am happy I went out early. I think it wasn't in the cards for me this season. I think regardless of what went down, like with me, you, and Janelle, and me not trusting you guys, I don't think that would have really affected many things. I don't think I was in that big alliance period. So I just think um, it worked out the way it was meant to, and I'm okay with it because I'm far happier now than I was 3 weeks ago. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? Because I know Julie had said to you on stage, like there was a slip when she said, America had voted you back in, and you kind of jumped a little bit.
Look, I love this game. Obviously, I came
Mm,
back as a competitor.
yes.
I wanted to make sure I made a big splash. We all want to win and go far. But at the end of the day, you have to put our best foot forward. And I know it's a really challenging time with a lot going on. So
Hmm.
there's a whole lot. I think that we have on our minds as we go in there in that house. So I think it's different, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
happy with the way that things turned out. I feel like I came in to kind of save my piece,
Hmm.
and I felt like that happened. So
Absolutely.
that was good. Some things I wish that could have turned out better, but
Hmm.
I don't have any regrets.
Uh,
Who do you want
and
to win?
likewise,
Who do you want to
that's
win?
how I feel about it. Oh, who do I want to win? Oh
Who are you
man,
rooting for? I think people are asking
uh,
who are you rooting for?
I I'm so biased. I know it's not popular opinion. I'm so biased toward Kevin and David just because I connect with them so much on a personal level, and I was always talking with them in the house. But as a fan, like game, I want to see Davon. I want to see her make it so far and just take it. I
Yeah,
want to see it. I want to see like David, Davon, Kevin, final three. Like that's my ideal
I don't know who I
scenario.
want together in the end, but I know that I want Davon to take it all personally.
Yep, same. So much. Nobody in that big six-person alliance. No offense. I don't want to see any of them.
I could see Ian. I know people are
Yes.
mixed about Ian because he's already won before. Um, I I think Ian's a gem. I love Ian.
Yep. Likewise.
Um, but yeah, so Davon, Ian could be one of them. But yeah,
Hmm.
so let's see. Any
I
more
I
questions?
wanted anybody on the other side. You know what I mean? Like even you knew this before I left. I had said to you and Janelle, like, oh gosh, even if I stay and win HOH, like I'm not coming after you. So I want to see anybody not in that big six just make it through. I want to see them break them up and make a splash and make a difference and make it to the end. I'm done with that big person alliance, especially with Memphis.
Um, People are asking, do you realize that Kevin was bad for your game? Do you think that Kevin was bad for your game?
I think yes, Kevin may have told me things that weren't true, but A, he was saying them because he thought they were true. But even if he was saying them just to cause trouble, you have to say it's a game. If he's manipulating a purpose or being a puppet master on purpose, that's a different type of game. What I would say is you can blame Kevin, but at the same time, I listened to him and I believed him, so I blame myself more. So I have to take ownership for the fact that whatever Kevin told me, I was like, oh yeah, okay, it must be true because Kevin's saying it. So I don't blame him at all. He's somebody who I made a final two with like night one, and he's somebody that I absolutely adore. So I don't regret that at all.
Yeah. People are asking me where I am, what if I'm in the jungle right now. This is not a jungle. This is my backyard.
What?
Yeah, it's a waterfall back there.
I love
Uh,
it. This is my wall. My favorite wall. I love
oh man.
it.
Um, I think here's like a really hot thing that's going on right now. People feel as though people are making fun of Ian for having autism, and it's really really sad and unfortunate to see. Um,
It's frustrating. It's
yeah,
ignorance, and that's no excuse. And I just don't see how grown adults, especially knowing Ian's story, Ian has been so vocal and spoken about it and informed and educated. I don't understand the judgment. I don't understand the laughing. I don't, especially, I'm going to come out and say, especially from Nicole, who's his like best friend in the house. Like, I don't understand why you would laugh at that. So I just, like, I hope when they come out, they see that and maybe have a conversation with Ian and like just educate themselves more because it's very unfortunate. I'm gonna be like I saw that clip and I was disgusted.
Do you feel like they know? Do they know that he has autism, he's on the spectrum, and that yet they're still being insensitive?
I mean, I know Ian had a conversation with you and I and a group of people, so I know he's been very open about it. So I'd imagine he's been open about it around the house, especially with someone like Nicole, who he's very close with. So I don't know how they wouldn't know and how they wouldn't. But even in that sense, even if he wasn't on the spectrum, even if that wasn't the case, and that was just him, why is it anything to laugh at? So I don't understand the like middle school ha ha he he ho mentality, and it makes me upset. It makes me really upset.
Yeah, look, that's I mean, here's the part that like I guess frustrated me about this season. It was like a pack of people who banded together because it was comfortable for them, and then
Yep.
there was everyone else. And that's why I wanted people who are on the other side, so to speak,
Yep.
to get together, empower themselves,
Mhm.
and so that we can all look out for each other in the end, and so that this sort of thing wouldn't have happened. And unfortunately,
Yep.
it wasn't in the cards. Um, and that was part of what made me, I think, the most sad about how things really transpired. But like, you know, I
I can definitely agree with that. I think that was partially part of my reason why I got so upset. I think I sensed, like I knew the four of them were together. I didn't know they were six, but I knew they were a four, and I think I sensed that group was already so tight and nobody else was. And I think that was very disheartening for me, especially, in regards to like last season, I end up equating a lot of things to last season and the alliances last season, and that was probably not good for me to carry over. And in that sense, one thing I will say, since we're doing this publicly, is a lot of people have reached out to me and said that I personally attacked you and Janelle, and that made me really upset because I'm a huge spokesperson, anti-bullying, be kind, and anything I said was out of frustration in the game. I know one of the things was me saying, I want Janelle's head on a stake. That was in the game. That was me talking to people on the opposite side about how Janelle was going to become my target. That was not at all a threat. Like, oh my gosh, like that really upsets me that people thought I would mean that as a threat. So I just like that's what's tough for me is I know a lot of people kind of directed toward me in the sense of like, oh well, you said this, but I think there's a very big difference between game and saying, oh, Ian's my target. I don't like Ian. I need him out of this house because he's coming after me. Or I think he screwed me over. I want him out. And there's a big difference between going in a room and laughing about somebody being on the spectrum. Those are two very, very different things, in my opinion.
yeah. Well, look, I'm really happy we got to connect. I really wanted to be able to kind of understand where you're coming from. I will say it was really hard for us during that week. I
Mm-hmm.
ran around trying to defend you, obviously.
And I appreciate that so
To the
much.
point where he was honestly hurting my own game, and people were getting mad at me. Bay and Day
Mm-hmm.
were basically saying that I'm trying to force something, and it was really frustrating. It was half an hour before the final votes. We were going to go live, and I was just running around trying to make sure you saw so
Yep.
aggressively trying to force people
Yep.
to vote you to stay, and it just didn't
Mm-hmm.
work out. We were just really heartbroken about that, but you know, it's okay. And that part is just gameplay, and I don't take those things
Mm-hmm.
personally. It just didn't work out. So,
Yeah.
for those reasons, I cannot hold any of that against you, and I'm happy to see that you are doing a lot better.
And that's why, from the bottom of my heart, Nicole, now, hindsight 2020, like, thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for having my back. Um, I think I kind of pushed it away a little bit because that's not something I'm used to in my life, is somebody just being guns a-blazing, especially such amazing, like, oh God, like you and Janelle, it was hard for me to accept the fact that you guys would even be fighting for me so hard. So I don't regret the way I acted in the house because I couldn't help it. That's genuinely how I felt. But now, this Nicole, hindsight 2020, I was wrong. I'm sorry I was wrong. And I cannot express enough how much I appreciate everything that you and Janelle did for me that week. And I did express this right before getting evicted because I did get that clarity right before I left that I was like, oh, they were helping me this whole time. So you guys are amazing. And I wish the Nicole in the game saw that more.
It's okay. It's hard, and
Ugh.
I appreciate your apology, and I hope everybody could be okay with that. So
Yeah.
thanks for connecting, Nicole. I'm
Thank
glad
you,
we got
Kaser.
got to have this conversation.
I love you so much.
Can we get the dance before
Oh
you
yes,
leave?
you have to do it with me though.
How do you do it again?
It's Thank you, Kaser. Thank you,
Oh man.
everybody, for joining us too. Oh gosh, I love you
Okay,
so
I'm
much.
so happy we got to do this. My first time doing IG Live, and
Yes,
I didn't break anything. Okay, this is awesome. Let's do this again
yes,
next time. It'll be even more fun. So let's keep on.
absolutely.
Let's keep chatting. All
I
right.
love it. Thank you, Kaser. He's the
Bye.
man. Bye.